So today we're reacting to They're Only Human, a cover by Lydia the Bard and Luke Holt, Deathnote the musical. I didn't even know Deathnote had a musical. I did know it had a live action though, which... Anyways, let's get into this. Ooh. The intro's like a lullaby.
Look at how they crawl around upon the ground like little ants.
Okay. So we have a creepy kind of lullaby beat going on right now, which I'm not sure if it's going to pick up or not. I don't mind if it doesn't actually, because right now it seems kind of like a poem, like there's speaking in this, right? But how his voice, it has like a little rasp to it, kind of giving it that like ethereal tone, and how it kind of echoes. Oh my god, that is done beautifully.
Yes, but how they fascinate.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, how they fascinate, confusing fate. One, that's a bar. Two, us humans do like to do that. It's weird. We should probably stick to a plan and go with it, but no, that's too much for us.
Confusing fate with what is merely change.
Here it is, the piano.
Isn't it a laugh?
Isn't it a shame?
Thinking there is someone in heaven to blame.
Yes, but even while playing.
Hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I love that line so much.
Isn't it a laugh?
Isn't it a shame?
Thinking there is someone in heaven to blame.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to say something a little controversial. But God. I believe in my own God, and a lot of people have their own beliefs and whatever. My whole thing is that no matter what God you believe in, they are merely there basically for you to vent to, right? Like a therapist that can't and won't talk back to you. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to your belief systems and when it comes to fate, obviously you have this, you don't always, it's more of the hardcore believers, but to me, any God is there for you to fall back on when you feel like you don't have anything left to believe in. They're there to listen and absorb for you to get your frustrations out, but they can't intervene, right? Like you can't blame them for what's happening in your life. And even if you do, it could be, depending on what you believe, trials and tribulations that they're putting you through to make you a stronger person, right? If you believe that. But you can't blame them for anything. They're not to blame. At the end of the day, it has to be you with your own will and your own free will, or with your own will and confidence to go and push past what you've been through. And I'm not a religious person when I say that. That is simply just like me speaking. I'm not super religious. Even with the one I pray to, I am not overly religious at all. But speaking to those who are, right, you can't blame a being that has never interacted, period. You can't blame them for things that might go wrong. Because they're really just there to listen. You pray to them or whatever, and they're there to listen to you and listen to what you've been through, but not interact. Like, you can't just, like, pray for $1 billion. Maybe you do, and maybe you stumble upon a bag that's under a seat that you probably shouldn't pick up because it's from the cartel. Maybe on the off chance you do that. But you can't blame someone who's never really interacted. Anyways, they're just a bystander. Anyways, that might piss off a lot of people.
Yes, but even while blaming fate for the lives that they lead, they hope for the lives that they need.
Exactly. Blaming some kind of fate, right? For the lives that you choose to lead. Sometimes with your own choices, sometimes you're born into a life that you can't, but you can get out of it. But then, what was it?
Lives that they lead,
they hope for the lives that they need. Everybody needs or wants a certain life, right? A certain life expectancy, what they want. But if you want that, you have to try your best to get to that point that you want to be in. Very rarely will it just be thrust upon you, the life that you want and need. Very, very rarely.
lives that they need.
Living every day till the day they die, never getting answers.
Yet still asking why. Going through the motions as if there will be a...
Oh my god, this is a really deep song. Don't get me wrong, it is done in a way where, like, the music and how they're speaking is so amazing and, like, be upbeat, but what they're truly speaking about is very deep. Like, living your lives till you die, which death in and of itself is a crazy thing. Like, even I do that. I ask why. Like, why do we have to die? Like, we live a certain amount of life. We have a life expectancy, right? Depending on how healthy you are and this and that. But, like, isn't it kind of mind-fucking how literally you can die at any point for any number of reasons and you sometimes don't even see it coming, right? It's a mindfuck. And my thing is, there's no answer. That's why it's one of my biggest fears. And it'll consume me eventually. But it's one of the reasons why I, unlike a lot of other people, wish for immortality. Because fuck death. Like, there's no answer. Right? And I don't think there ever will be an answer to what comes after. We all have our hopes and stuff, and maybe reborn, rebirth, or go to heaven, or whatever, depending on your belief system, or what you believe in, or what you don't believe in, right? Maybe you just get sent back to the void, back to nothingness. But, like, my thing is, since it's something that's out of your control, or out of my control in general, it is something that terrifies me. It terrifies me to my core. Anyways, I just like to know why, or have an answer.
While we stay eternally born, they're only human. They don't see who they are is who they'll always be. Only human after all. So they push and they shove
With this thing they call love.
till they fall. Isn't it a farce?
Isn't it a waste?
Struggling to face what can never be faced.
Ooh, that isn't a farce, isn't it waste? Like, that's like saying you're facing against the odds of where you are in life, right? But I don't think it's a farce or a waste. You should definitely persevere to get to the point that you want to be at.
Yes, but maybe death can release something more than we share.
I really don't know and don't care.
They're only humans standing still. Don't you live pushing boulders uphill.
Only human.
I like that. I like that line. That's a really good line. Oh my god, that's what I'm doomed to live pushing boulders uphill. A lot of us are just like it's constantly an uphill struggle. But I mean, go for it. Like, keep pushing that boulder. Keep increasing your strength. If we're using metaphorical terms, right? The more you push, the stronger you get, and the easier it'll get.
Don't you live pushing boulders uphill. Only human after all. So they give and they take.
Hoping someone will help break their fall.
They will pray, curse, live, die, never knowing the truth is another man's lie.
Oh, that's a good line.
Of the hate like a leaf flowing in the wind.
Watch them all vacillate.
Sorry, vacillate is a very good word. That's all I wanted to say on that.
They're only human. They can't see all the years they could give you and me. Only human after all.
So they give and we take.
Till their silly hearts
last line, it's tough to be a god. That last line is interesting. One of them, right, these two godly beings looking down, and one of them being intrigued by, like, human emotion, human love, not completely understanding it. I like that a lot. But this was an amazing... I rambled. This was an amazing song. Again, I didn't know Deathnote had a fucking musical. But anyways, this is Dantelios signing out. Bye-bye.